Yo peeps, what is up? I basically just given like a bit of a disclaimer that this video is not my favourite that I've ever filmed, and it's a bit all over the place. But bear with, because I can do other videos, but yeah, this one's just a bit all over the place, so please don't judge.
Up in the bathroom, feeling what happened, so I could imagine. Hey! Hello everybody, hope you're all doing great, hope you're having a nice day. I'm having a nice day, it's really nice weather outside in the UK, so even though we're in lockdown, not too bad, not too shabby. If you're new here then hello, my name is Marie. I was going to say my name wrong then. Hello, my name is Marie, and today I'm going to be making a video all about my psychotic episode, which led to me having psychosis as one of my diagnoses. That rhymed? Psychosis as one of my diagnoses. That's not weird. If you've been following me for a while, you'll know that I have just put this video off for so long because I just didn't want to make it. And that was actually one of the questions. I've got them on my phone, so I asked on Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, please follow me on Instagram. It's where I'm most active. It's where I ask for video ideas or like contributions to videos. So yeah, follow me on Instagram if you want. If you don't want, then don't. Before we start, I just want to say this video, because it's my first time talking about it, like properly, like that being the subject matter, I've kind of chose a more light-hearted Q&A style, as opposed to me literally sitting down and telling you what happened, because I think this is a good foundation for me to potentially do that in the future. So if you would like a full like psychotic episode video, I don't know what you would call it, then give this video a thumbs up or let me know somehow, because I don't know whether you prefer just Q&A styles or you want like the hardcore shit. Not that I'm going to be leaving stuff out or like sugarcoating things in this video, it's just the style of video would be different. I hope that makes sense. So the first question was, why were you so reluctant to talk about it? And there are kind of like a number of factors as to why I felt reluctant in talking about psychosis and my psychotic episode. Firstly, I don't know how to put it, but like I talk about mental health all the time, and it's because I'm able to talk about it, I definitely feel in control of it. So like self-harm, I'm in control of that. Anxiety, I'm in control of that. Borderline personality disorder, I'm in control of that. I know it to a very, I know it, I've had therapy, I've had medication, like I just have locked that down, so talking about it makes it quite easy. However, with psychosis and things like eating, I am not 100% in control, or I don't know what the word would be, because it's not control, because obviously it's not happening, but I'm not fully like, I haven't fully developed and accepted it yet, and that's why it's hard. So it comes with time, but that's why I've been reluctant to talk about it. Also, it's a big fucking topic and I don't want to get it wrong, so if I was to say something that might be detrimental, that's something that I would absolutely hate myself for, so I really didn't want to do it the wrong way. That's why I kind of chose a bit of a more Q&A style this way, because I can like dip my toe into the water, see how the water feels, and then hopefully have a dive in later on. But yeah, so I thought I would just start with the bog standard what psychosis is. So I searched psychosis on Google and it says it's a severe mental disorder in which thought and emotions are so impaired that contact is lost with external reality. Psychosis is where you can hear things that are not there, hallucinations, or believe things that aren't true. Yeah, if you're not aware of what psychosis is, then that's just a little insight. I've got this question a lot, and it was, were you aware that you were in a psychotic episode? When did you realise it was getting bad? And this is a really funny one because I think this is what people want to know, like how it feels to be in an episode like that. And in all honesty, the way I can really describe it was, first of all, I was completely numb. Like, I didn't feel emotions. I really struggled in my relationship at that time to feel emotions. I really struggled with my family to feel emotional. I was just numb to every situation. Nothing fazed me. But at the same time, I was riddled with paranoia, confusion, and fear. Really, they're the three things that I can kind of stick it down to how you feel. How do you feel? That's a really broad question. See, this is why I didn't know whether to make the video, because I am kind of struggling to answer these questions. Yeah, I felt numb, which meant that my actions were different to how they normally would be. My psychosis, I'll give a bit of background, my psychosis stemmed or was around reality, like me being real, the world being real, how the world works. Yeah, and also around someone in my family. It really was, I was for some reason overly protective and scared and, I don't know, worried for this person. So that's what it kind of stemmed from, was me not believing that reality was reality. I don't remember loads of the details because it seems like from the October of 2018, September of 2018 all the way till the February of 2019, honestly felt like a massive blob. Like, it was not, there was no time. Your head is like so full of all these thoughts and beliefs that normal things like staying in time and looking after yourself just really, I don't remember like feeling like I needed to do that anyway. I don't know if that makes sense. I didn't feel like I needed to, I didn't even question whether I needed to do things at a certain time or like wear certain clothes, because it just all didn't matter to me. I think a lot of people want to know whether you're aware that you're in a psychotic episode when you're in a psychotic episode, and I can't speak for everyone, but I can speak for myself and say it got worse and worse over time. At the start it started with delusions, really. I was questioning everything, like absolutely everything. I couldn't see myself in myself, and that was really difficult. But then personally, when I was in an episode, which it's kind of weird, like you have to break it down into parts. So I was struggling with psychosis, but I would have psychotic episodes within that time where I totally lose touch with reality and do things and say things that were absolutely, completely strange and weird and scary and aggressive. And during them times I don't really remember them. Like my dad would describe it like I turned into a different person, like someone that they did not recognise. And so that was a factor. But then at the same time, I didn't ever feel guilty for that, because I felt so numb that like an episode could happen and I could be absolutely terrifying. Like my sister was so scared of me at that time, which makes me so sad now, but at the time, like, I really just, it's not even that I didn't care, like it just didn't come into my mind at all that I should feel empathy towards them or like apologise. I didn't remember doing it or what I said, so I didn't really know what to apologise for. And also, how do I describe it? So I didn't feel like apologising to them, but I knew I did something to upset them by their reactions to me. But however, when I was just dealing with psychosis day to day, where I would be, you know, like hearing voices and having delusions and being paranoid, but still there was still a part of me inside my brain that could, like, I can remember them times. I wasn't aware that I was psychotic because that didn't cross my mind. I was just aware that the people around me weren't the same people that I used to be with. So instead of me changing, I thought everyone else had changed. And you kind of feel like you're untouchable. It was like I say it now and it sounds stupid, but it was like that I knew a secret about the world not being real and no one else knew it, and therefore I felt invincible. At the time, did I know that I was getting like that? No. Everything I thought was completely real. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. I'm sorry, there's a dog barking outside. Oh my god. Okay, that I just spoke for like 20 minutes on one question. I might make a part 2. If I keep speaking for too long, I will make a part 2. Someone said, what are the early warning signs of struggling with psychosis? Now, if you go, I will leave some links down below. You can go and check them out and read about it. But I'm not going to just reel off a list from the internet, because you can go and do that if you want. But I can tell you what my early warning signs were off the top of my head. Like, I should have probably prepared a bit more for this video, but here we are. I feel like there's like 3 stages that you can be in. I would say like my early warning signs were that I weren't sleeping, I was hearing voices. At this stage they weren't, how can I put it? They weren't like mean, they were just like neutral. They weren't being mean, if that makes sense. I don't really know how to describe it, but it was just like they were there and I heard them, and I would never ever admit to other people that I was hearing voices, because they would always talk about things and I would get very paranoid about that, so I never used to tell people that I was hearing them. However, I think to professionals it was very obvious that I was, but I would decline it. I would say I wasn't, every time someone asked me. I would start isolating myself, like I wouldn't see my friends, and I'm quite a person who sees their friends and their boyfriend every week, like every other day I see one of my friends. So I isolated myself so much, I didn't see anyone for like 2 months and it was not good. I would also believe strange things, so like mine came down to it's like, you know when you have a dream and it makes sense until you start telling someone about it and then you realise how weird it is, but in your head at the start it did kind of make sense because you did go through it in the dream, but now that you're out of the dream it's weird. So for me now, saying what I'm gonna say is weird, but I didn't think that I was really me. I didn't think my thoughts were my thoughts. I didn't think my parents were who they were. Sorry, my camera died. I can't remember how far in I was. I was like, when I think about it now, my behaviour was fucking strange. I used to walk to work and have this little notepad and I'd write down every person that I saw and what their description was, because I thought that they were a doctor undercover, and basically one of my real like delusional thoughts was that I was going to be drugged and then taken somewhere, like to a hospital or something like that. So I used to write down every description because I thought, it wasn't even so weird, it wasn't even that I thought the police would help me, it would be that I would wake up and I would know and be able to solve myself. Really weird. Had weird beliefs around food, not like I think it's very common to have beliefs that food is like poisoned or, you know, contaminated. I wouldn't eat food because for 2 reasons. One was that I thought that it would be laced with something, so I didn't want to eat it because I didn't want to get drugged and then get taken away. And also the voices would start to get stronger, so now the voices weren't neutral, they were like mean and like scary as fuck. They would tell me that if I ate something, then this person that I was like obsessed with would die, and at the time I was like, I just can't risk it, obviously. So that was kind of some early warning signs. I also had paranoia. I was paranoid that, oh, it was really bad. Like I was still going to work until the November. No, I still went to work for like 3 months whilst I was in a psychotic episode, and I would get sent home a lot because I would start crying, or the worst one was when I like confronted a man and like told him that I knew he was a doctor and he obviously wasn't. Yeah, paranoia, not good. Oh hello. Oh hello, Trouble. You come to say hello? That's a nice little gap in the video, isn't it? Nice little, hey, Albie time. Albie check. Yes. Oh my baby. I'd also have very erratic behaviour, like I said, I wasn't sleeping, and when you don't sleep you actually, regardless if you have psychosis or not, you go really weird. Like your behaviour can, you get like, Albie stop it. You get like overtired, and I was acting weird. Like I don't know how to describe it. Like I'd be in my room, like it's like weird shit, like when I drew that sun and moon on my, sorry my camera keeps cutting out, yeah, like when I was drawing the moon and the sun on my wall, weird behaviour. And I also was completely numb and had no sense of time, which I spoke about earlier. So a lot of people have asked me like, what are the symptoms and how did it manifest itself and was I aware, and I feel like I've covered them in those 2 questions. Someone said, like, were my family aware that I was having a psychotic episode? And yeah, my dad would take me to the hospital all the time and try and get me sectioned or sent away to hospital because I wasn't very well, and sometimes I would listen to the voices and they would tell me what to say and when to say it, and I just could talk myself out of any situation, and it would infuriate my dad. Not infuriate, it would absolutely, my dad hated it. But yeah, my family were aware, they just didn't know what to do. I was under crisis, so we kind of depended on crisis team, which was hard because I saw a different person every time in the crisis team. So every single time they came around, first of all, I didn't trust them, so I didn't tell them anything, but they would always ask exactly the same questions, which was obviously not their fault because they don't have the resources to, you know, have one person per person. But yeah, I was under crisis for probably like 2 months, and then yeah, my family were aware. Someone said, did you ever feel like you had it but didn't want to self-diagnose? And I think when I kind of got into the whole realm of mental health, I did know that something else was not right, and it wasn't just BPD. I'd had a psychotic episode beforehand, and I wouldn't say struggled because it wasn't a struggle, but I had dealt with hearing voices beforehand. They were never mean, or they were never mean, so they were just the neutral ones. They were really just kept me company. What was the question? Forgotten the question. Did you ever feel like you had it? I felt like there was something more, but I just couldn't put a finger on it, and I don't think my mental health team could put a finger on it either, because they knew it wasn't just because they always said I acted differently to other patients with BPD, things like that. So yeah, kind of, not really, but kind of. Someone said, what was the scariest part? I think the scariest part is definitely when you come out of it, because you're absolutely terrified the whole way through the episode, but when you come out of it and realise the shit that you've done and the people you've scared and how you have like destroyed so much of your life and other people's lives. And then the scariest part of that was being scared of my own capabilities. I was scared that I ever got that bad, and I was scared that I would get bad again, because some of the things that I did during that time were so erratic, they were so just wrong, illegal, erratic, whatever you want to call them. So I think my own capabilities and thinking that I actually can become a person who I don't identify as in day-to-day life. Did you get told your hallucinations weren't real? I have been told this recently. I think my family and my CPN dealt with me really well, because when you're believing something and you're having a hallucination, it is real to you at that time. It's real. So I don't think the best thing to do is to allow someone to believe that. Let me expand. I think the person then should say maybe like, what is it saying to get information from you, but they shouldn't encourage the delusion, because that just makes the person so much more confused, and really you start to believe that other people are also seeing it, which just isn't right. So that's my personal view on it. But my family were very good at like I don't know really. And with these questions I don't really know because I don't really remember a lot of what happened during that time. Things that I've said like in this video were down to what I've been told since. It's hard to talk about it because I literally don't fucking know, and I don't want to know. I think that's one of the reasons why I haven't made this video before, was because I didn't want to face the fact that I had it. I don't want to face, I'm not trying to add to the stigma by doing that. I'm just saying, as a humanly, as a person, it's like any other illness. It takes time before you can accept it and move on from it. I'm not at that point yet, and I will get there one day, but at the moment it's still very raw. Even though it was a year ago, it's still very raw. So yeah, so that is the video. I hope you enjoyed. It's not really an enjoyable video, is it? But maybe you learned something. Any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll answer them for you or try my best. I'm gonna love you and leave you. Stay safe, and I will see you soon. Goodbye!